goodness. Big move Monday. Look out. A way to end the tournament.
What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Quad Pod, sponsored by Poseidon Strength and Adidas Wrestling. Make sure you're using our discount codes at checkout. All the information is below. Happy to be back with Robbie, Austin, and Kevin. I am Holmes, and this is episode 33, the Tony Dorsett episode, because I met him a couple of times, and it'd be pretty shitty if I didn't use Tony Dorsett. But we're going to preview this week, at least today we're going to preview, I should say, instead of this week, because this week is not over yet. We're going to talk CKLV. Hopefully, we get these ranked guys in the field like we are potentially projected. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, prayers up that we get some really good competition at CKLV. I know we've had some down years where we weren't sure who we were going to get, and some other years where it was just absolutely loaded. I can remember covering CKLV in like 2014, 2015, and like Logan Stieber being there, and just so many top guys. Kyvan Gadsden wrestling in the finals, just like so many top guys wrestling other ranked top guys at CKLV. It was basically like an NCAA's primer back in the day. And I say back in the day, but it was only like 8-10 years ago, right? So hopefully we can get these things to return to their former glory. And maybe that starts with this year. There's a lot of guys that haven't seen the mat just yet. A lot of teams that haven't been at full strength, and guys that need matches. So hopefully this is the tournament that they decide to try and get some matches and make some things happen. So let's dive into CKLV, starting at 125 pounds. And we can go kind of around the horn here. And Robbie, I'll start with you at 125. Obviously, you have an ACC outlook. So who are you watching ACC wise? But what are you looking forward to most at 125?
I mean, Eddie Ventresca coming out, it's going to be a good test for him. Biggest thing I'm keeping an eye on, Steve O'Poulin didn't have the greatest showing in the Cyhawk duel, so looking for him to bounce back. And then the other thing to really pay attention to is Jet Strickenberger, especially in a tournament format. Is how is he going to hold the weight? Is that going to be an issue? Because I think it's a big cut for him. He's a very large 125, so it's going to be a challenge for him to hold the weight over multiple days. So keep an eye on that to see how that looks. There's some good ones. The other one is Mark Anthony McGowan. I've been really impressed with him this year. He's had some good wins. His losses aren't bad, and this could be an opportunity for him to get some publicity here on the bigger stage.
Yeah. Austin, on you. Any EIWA outlook for 125, and who are you looking at the most for this one?
Yeah, for EIWA, highest ranked guy here is Jimmy Garcia from F&M. Had a pretty good Keystone Classic tournament. Diego Sotelo, formerly of Harvard, now at Michigan. Going to try and make a good run here. But besides those top three guys, Ventresca, Strettenberger, and Steve O'Poulin, I like McGowan as well, and maybe even Maximo Renteria of Oregon State. And then Brady Rourke just came off a big win over Jory Volk. So, it might be 2 or 3 different tiers here, but interesting to see who can kind of jump up a tier and challenge those top guys for the title. It should be some good wrestling at this weight.
Yeah.
We may see the Nico Provo come back out this week too.
That'd be good.
I was writing down Diego Sotelo, and I already had Brady Rourke written down. Because, I think he's undefeated on the season. I put on a South Dakota State wrestling hat for those of you who aren't watching the video. He's a badass, and I'm excited for him to compete. I mean, you guys have already named most of the other names there. This is always just a fun weight. I mean, you get these little dudes rolling around. I think it was I'm completely blanking on names. All I know is I love, like, usually this time of year, like, I'm on vacation and I'm like traveling around and I've got like my laptop and I'm watching, like, I literally just have a specific memory of like watching 125 like on my mom's like counter in her living room and like my kids crawling around. I just love it. It's the best. I'm going to talk about other random memories of Cliff Keen, Las Vegas when it gets to me for most of these weights.
I love that. Honestly, you always bring the family on into it. Honestly, um, yeah, Austin, you mentioned Maximo Renteria, and again, this is probably a bit of a homer take for me. No, he's not from the Lehigh Valley, but I had a number of times of going out to California when he was in high school and him being at Buchanan and seeing Maximo Renteria wrestle in high school and being able to kind of watch him grow into the wrestler that he is. And then, obviously being at Oregon State and seeing how well he's kind of, I guess, matured over these years. Being with Pendleton has been really great. Obviously, he was also with Nate Angle last year. Um, now he's with Corey Crooks, and I'm sure he's working with Corey a good bit more so, probably more so than he was, maybe more so than he was last year. I'm sure Corey was probably definitely part of that, but Nate Angle spoke really highly of him when I spoke to him last year when it was announced that he was transferring to Oregon State. So always very impressed by Maximo Renteria. And then the other guy is Diedrich Navarro. Navarro is a guy for Northwestern where last year we were doing our some of our preview things with and interviews with the coaches where Storniello talked about Diedrich Navarro and how much he had wrestled in the offseason and not just that, but how much he had wrestled in the previous season where he had redshirted and just how much he had competed. And I think he was one of the guys that had like, I don't know, maybe like 25, 30 matches like throughout the year. I can't remember. It might have been him or one of the other guys from Northwestern, but I know Diedrich Navarro was one of those guys that was on Storny's list of somebody he was looking to step up and have a very big impact last year. I don't think that it panned out the way that they wanted it to, but another year older, another year stronger in the weight class and being a little bit more mature in it. So I would kind of watch out for him having a really big performance in this, making it on the podium potentially this year. This could be a really good weight. Obviously, there's a number of guys that are in this weight class that we'll see throughout the season and guys that we haven't seen thus far. Finally, kind of getting a little bit more, I guess, camera time because they've had some dual meets that weren't either being streamed or really getting a lot of pub. But let's make some picks and Robbie, I'm going to come back to you. Who are you picking to win this weight at 125?
I got Eddie V.
Easily Eddie V. Austin, who are you picking?
Yeah, I like Eddie V as well. Another name we should probably mention is Marcelo Milani of Cornell. I think he might have placed out here, had a good run. National qualifier last year, filling in nicely there. So another name is Milani to keep an eye on.
He was 8th last year.
Yeah,
at this weight. Robbie, I'm surprised that you went Ventresca and not maybe taking Provo in his first one back potentially. Why Ventresca instead of Provo?
I mean, Eddie just looked fantastic. He's consistent. I think with this field, I like pretty much any matchup you would have here. I mean, interested to see where Provo's at. I mean, what we've seen in him for freestyle wise has been great, but we haven't seen him on the folk style mat in a year and a half. So until we actually see where he's at, it's kind of hard to pick him to win the biggest tournament of the year so far.
Especially a 2-day grinder like this one is. It'll be tough.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't forget about him, so that's good.
Launch.
It was Mike DiAugustino and Drew Hildebrandt were the people I was watching wrestle, and I couldn't remember their names. But then I did, and I wrote them down.
The original Grizzly Adams at 125.
That was a great match. Most people don't know this. Mark Anthony McGowan married to Jennifer Lopez. Oh shit! No, that was a different Mark Anthony. Sorry, I got confused. I'm gonna pick him. What the hell? I've been singing his praises. He's on both my fantasy teams, Robbie.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I
Good
got
pick.
him late because everyone was a hater except for me. So I'm gonna pick him this weekend.
I certainly hope that he has a good showing this weekend. I'm going to take Provo.
Win or bust.
There you go. I'm gonna take Provo in at 125. I feel like he probably feels like he's got something to prove right now coming in. He hasn't been in the lineup yet. He's fresher than some of these guys as well. Not to say that the season is, too far deep, but he's coming off of not competing yet. So he's got to get his legs underneath him for sure. But I also feel like he's coming in a little bit fresher and, first time potentially making the weight and getting on the scale and getting into the action. And I'm going to take Provo. It's moved to 33. Claunch going to come back to you on this. Who are you looking at 33?
Remember that time that Adam Kuhn wrestled Gwizdowski in the Cliff Keen finals?
You.
That was sweet. Adam Kuhn won in overtime.
That was awesome.
No, he's
Forget
not.
about it.
Was that
That
at
was
133? I
awesome.
think that was at 33 back then. That was before they
I
moved
think
up to
so.
heavyweight. Yeah.
They were younger men at the
They were-
time.
Those
They were
guys have
younger
not
men.
weighed
As we all
133
were.
since they were 3.
Yeah. 133. Let's see. Who do I got? I was looking at the thing and then I was checking to see if I had Hunter Henry in my lineup. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. I guess while I'm wearing the hat, let's shout out All-American Derek Cardinal of South Dakota State, bumping up to 133. Two-time placers, 6th and 7th. I'm going to go with the hot hand, though. I'm going to go with Evan Frost of Iowa State. I think that guy's awesome. Obviously, you're going to get Tyler Knox also on my fantasy team. I'm going to go with Tyler Knox. Scratch that. Tyler Knox is going to win it, just like my fantasy team is.
From a man that is wearing 2 different teams already, no surprise that he would
Yep.
switch up that quickly.
Very little loyalty. Yeah.
Austin, 33, on to you.
After seeing Frost perform, I like Frost here. He might end up being a top seed, but I like him. Knox is going to be looking good. Interested to see what Larkin comes with. He hasn't had top notch guys unless you count Figueroa in that.
But do you?
Yeah, should be fun to see him. I'm excited to see Mason Leapart from F&M as well.
Grizzly Adams.
Yeah, kind of had some questionable losses in his career, but I think there's going to be a time to put it together. It's going to be this year in his senior year. So looking forward to him to make it run as well, hopefully.
Robbie.
Like Taylor Knox. Interested to see what Larkin can do. I think my pick is going to be Dylan Campbell. I've been incredibly impressed with him this year. At least my pick to upset some people. I don't know if he'll win the tournament, but I think he can make a run to the finals here. He's been super aggressive. His length at 133 has given a lot of people problems. So excited to see what he can do in a 2-day tournament. So it's always a hard thing for freshmen.
I just noticed that Braxton Apello is in this weight class. Braxton Apello, Easton wrestler. He goes to Sacred Heart. It's pretty good for Easton.
He was at Ohio State for a year or two.
Yeah, he was there for a little bit. Just realized he was in there.
I do want to shout out real quick. Sean Speitel wrestling for Northwestern and Blake Borman are 2 guys who are a little bit further down the list, but both these guys made moves to Big Ten schools that think it's going to pay off for them. So this is going to be a big competition to see kind of where those strides are being made.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Frost as well. It is probably front runner-ish, but it's tough not to go, Robbie said, with the hot hand, honestly. So yeah, 33 doesn't look as deep as 25, to be completely honest, but yeah, Gonna go with Frost. Moving on to 41.
It's
Austin
even less deep than 33.
Yeah, it is. Moving on to 41. Austin, gonna start with you. You can give us a EIWA lens for this one, and anyone else that you are looking at or picking for 141.
EIWA, ooh, all the way down to Bryce Crescio of FN, another F&M guy, pulling out a lot of F&M guys here. Just
Got
under the
Josh
radar guy.
Saunders in there for Cornell as well.
Yeah, Saunders is in here. He was wrestled 49. I talked to Cornell Kevin. Shout out to him. So he thought Saunders might be staying up at 49 with Cornella coming back, but I think Cornella is coming back second semester. So I'm not sure if Saunders is even. He may have weighed in light to be able to wrestle 41 here. I'm not sure. So if he is in there, he's definitely someone to watch out for. But yeah, I do like Echemendia. Just seeing him wrestle this weekend, wrestled really, really well. But do look out for Caden Ricciardi of Navy, freshman, wrestling really well this year so far. Coming in, he'll probably be like a 4 or 5, maybe 6 seed. He'll be able to make some noise there.
Robbie.
If Echemendia wrestles this weekend like he did last weekend, I think he's going to be hard to stop. He's definitely a favorite in my mind. I think he's a favorite over Romney here. ACC wise, Tom Crook, he's kind of been up and down this year. Nice to see him get some good wins and get some momentum going. And the other one, I think two others to keep an eye on: Hayden Drury from Utah Valley and Pierce Manville from Arizona State. Both guys have a lot of upset potential and could make some noise, especially on the backside.
Yeah. Launch.
Does Drury own that hotel chain?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like his family? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Says,
They're like the step below the Hiltons.
Without a Paris.
Probably tougher.
Big family rivalry.
Remember when Gadsden wrestled Schiller? That was a great time. Schiller had beat him like most of the time, but then I think Gadsden won at Cliff Keen.
and I was there for that.
Were you really?
There for that.
He talked to me about it on years ago when we recorded him on Blood Round, and he was like, that was like the biggest match. He was like so excited to have beaten Schiller. He's like, he beat me every time. That was a terrible Kevin Gadsden impression. Anyway, I loved that win. I think that's my second favorite Kevin Gadsden win. 141 pounds. Echemendia is a beast. He's just an absolute monster. And then we were talking about last episode, people going up weight classes. It's like Zeth Romney's going up to 141, and I haven't seen him this year at 141. Maybe he's filled out and looks great, but like Echemendia thought he was going to wrestle 157 2 years ago, and it was like, and now he's back down at 141. So,
Even though last year he said he was not going back down to 141.
He says lots of things, and then here we are.
Yeah.
Julian Tagg, we talked about him. He's awesome. I'm wearing the South Dakota State hat. I do think he actually has a shot at making the finals too. And then just another name to watch is Grayson Clark for Purdue. NCAA qualifier as a freshman. Last year, I believe he qualified as well. And from what I can tell and from what I've heard, just different guy mentally this year. And so once again, though, they haven't wrestled the toughest schedule Purdue this early in the season. So we'll see what this tournament has for him in store.
Purdue's got a sneaky good team. They could make some headlines this weekend.
Yeah. A guy that I want to see dialed back in is Jesse Vasquez. He's now at Cal Baptist, and he was at ASU and left ASU. What was that? Like, I think before NCAAs or before conference, something like that. And just want to see this guy dial back in because he was, a lot of hype coming out of high school. Doesn't seem that it's really panned out yet. He'll be here at 141, as well as Pearson Manville. I think I'm gonna be honest. I was surprised that Pearson decided to go to Arizona State, right? Like, seems like it's pretty far from home, and maybe that's the catch there, right? Like, some guys want to be far from home. Some guys want to have a new atmosphere and new surroundings and be away from mom and dad a little bit more, right? Maybe that happens. There are certain people that are like, I'm going to California for school. I'm going to Arizona and I'm from Pennsylvania. So certainly does happen. But it's, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do in this tournament. I feel like this is probably like this is definitely his biggest test thus far, being on the college level. So looking forward to seeing what he does. But yeah, I think you guys are right about Echemendia. If he continues to compete the way that he's been competing, and obviously, wrestling Mendez, you're not going to get very far. But last week looked amazing. I feel like I would honestly love a match between Echemendia and Julian Tag, just with the both of them coming off of really solid weeks and how they've looked. So, but I'm gonna take Echemendia here at 141. Man, jumping to 49. I wanna hear what Robbie has to say about his boy Lachlan McNeil and his chances here at 149.
This is actually going to be a really tough weight. There's some serious depth here. Jackson Joyce had a fantastic season so far. Lachlan is, for the most part, looked really good. Paniro Johnson is Paniro Johnson, and we'll go to tiebreakers.
If he
every
wrestles.
match. If he wrestles, yep, that could also change. Aiden Valencia, a lot of hype. This could be an opportunity for him to get some big wins. Caleb Larkin looked fantastic. David Evans has some big wins. This is showing Colin Guy for Virginia Tech, but I'm not sure if it's going to be him or Ninninger. So that's an interesting one to watch. Willie McDougall has some serious talent, can put things together. I don't know that he's going to put together a 2-day run at all, but he can pull some upsets. So 49 is going to be a very interesting weight. A lot of different styles of wrestling too. I don't even know who I want to go with here.
Kind of
It's not very convincing.
Right. I want to.
I know.
What have you seen from Lachlan that has made you think that he's been all right? I've seen him look kind of uncomfortable in some of these matches, to be honest.
But he's too close to the Canadian border.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not
close
sure
to
what he
home.
wants to do.
That was supposed to be a positive thing.
It was.
It is. I don't know. I mean, I think he I don't know. There's been flashes where he seems to be adjusting to some new style of wrestling. I think that's kind of what we're seeing, some growing pains from him. He's in the North Carolina system for 4 years and kind of entrenched in that, and they do things very differently in Michigan. And I think we're just seeing some growing pains. For the most part, if he actually attacks, he's great. But so often he depends on his defense and keeps matches close and stretches things out. So he can stay in a match with anybody, but he's not putting anybody away. And with the names we just listed there, like, he's going to have to separate more to really get a good chance here. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what he looks like against a field like this.
So who are you taking?
Jackson Joy.
All right.
He's been very impressive this year.
Yeah.
And he's on my fantasy team.
There's the bias. Austin, your thoughts on 149?
Yeah, this is a really fun weight class. I mean, there's, I think, 3 or 4 guys that could come away with this thing and take it all. Yeah, I just don't know if we'll see Panero Johnson. Sounds like Frost is going to be the guy. Part of me wants to take him and say, hey, I'm the man for this job. Here's why. And then boom, he'll go out and win it. But I'm debating between Jackson Joy and Caleb Larkin, 2 young studs. That should be a fun match if they wrestle. But, give me Joy. Just, I think Cornell has something good going on there. And he's just going to keep getting better wrestling with guys like Yanni and Meyer Shapiro. So, yeah, give me Jackson Joy. But, yeah, it should be a really fun weight class no matter who we go there.
Yeah. Claunch?
Trying to think of a gambling joke. My money's on Paniro Johnson, something like that. Yeah, 149 is going to be awesome, man. I think with Lachlan, just to kind of touch on that again, it's interesting. And this wasn't in particular about him, but I was listening to an interview with Bourmet, and he was just talking about the transfers. And he's like, yeah, it's interesting trying to figure out how they like to be coached and what's going to work with them and how to get the most out of them and where to push buttons and where to pull back. So, maybe that is just some growing pains with getting into the room and trying to figure that out. I 3-time All-Americans very rarely just forget how to do that. You know what I mean? So,
he looked great against Virginia too. Like that was the kind of aggressive showing that we need to see from him.
Really, really good. Couple other names to throw out there. Willie McDougall transferred to West Virginia. I'm excited to see him out there, see what he can do. Eli Rivera of Princeton, always a tough wrestler, and I think wrestling for Puerto Rico in international competitions. Anyway, that's always fun. Dude, Larkin just is so comfortable in every position, and he's already got a win over McNeil, right? Like McNeil did not look good in that match. I didn't think I was going to pick Larkin, but I am now, so that's my pick.
Yeah, I'm going with Larkin as well. It's just what we've seen from
wears
him.
Cool Adidas shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Adidas wrestling. That's where it's at. What we've seen from him, though, I've just been very impressed of how he, as you said, is comfortable in so many different positions and never looks like he's really out of position. So, but this is a pretty deep weight. I had a chance to see Colin Guy when he was in high school at Elite 8, and he positionally as a high schooler was amazing, right? Like very good positioned, very strong in the hand fight, attacking at will, like in your face kind of a guy. And obviously, yes, that is the high school level, but that's, when you're able to see a high caliber guy before he gets into a college room, you're like, man, when this guy gets into that next level, they're going to really push the button and push down on his ability to hand fight and to wrestle through positions. And that's what I always saw from Colin Guy. So looking forward to seeing him compete in this one. As well as if Iowa State does go with Frost or Paniro Johnson. That is the question right now, right? I mean, Paniro was in the lineup this past week. He ended up losing the Ryder block when they wrestled Iowa, but we heard what Dresser said of how wrestle-offs have gone. So interested to see who he puts in the lineup here and how that goes. On the McNeil thing, like I said, I felt like he has looked a little bit uncomfortable in some of these matches, and like he's trying to figure out who he is in the Michigan lineup and in the Michigan room, and trying to relay some of the new things and the new ways into his own style. And it might just come out looking as growing pains, but I feel like once he gets maybe a bit of a better foundation under him of like being in a new regime, I think he'll be just fine. It can certainly happen during this tournament where he can get on a rhythm, and it's not just a one-off match, it's multiple matches, and you get in a rhythm and you're able to channel that multiple time All-American again, and then actually, I guess, truly see some of the things that your new coaching staff is trying to implement. So interested to see how he has transitioned after looking, like I said, a little bit uncomfortable in some of these matches early on in the season so far. But I think I'm gonna go with Aiden Valencia here at 149. Very impressed with him as well. I know that's 2 Stanford guys that I've now taken, but I feel like I really like what they're doing at Stanford with these guys, and I feel like they have a very good chance to make some noise in a tournament like this specifically. 57. This could be fun as well. Claunch, we'll start with you on this.
Oh, good, because I really like this weight. It's loaded. I get to be the first one that talks about Zurban again. That guy's awesome.
I figured you'd also want to talk about Stony Buell. That's why I went with you too.
Oh, for sure. I want to talk about Stony Buell. Stony Buell of Purdue dropping down from 165 to 157, wrestling real tough. But we can talk Cale Swenson of South Dakota State. Go Jacks. That guy just obviously had a big win over the weekend, or last week, I should say. I haven't talked about Ty Waters yet. I haven't talked about Daniel Cardenas yet. I haven't talked about Cam Catrabone yet. Like, these are good wrestlers. For a guy from Ann Arbor, I'm excited to see what Catrabone can do against a series of dudes who are going to be ranked higher than him. He's wrestled really, really well. He's got a lot of pins on the season. He's been fun. This is going to be a test. And I guess that's kind of one of the things that makes this tournament so much fun. Like the time that Alec Pantaleo had Micah Jordan in a cradle for 2.5 minutes. That was cool. That was at least at 157 pounds.
Yeah, we're getting closer.
We're getting closer. I don't know, for this weight. Man, I'm going with Vinny Zurban. I just think that was so impressive what he was able to do, being such a funky wrestler. I mean, if this is people's first time wrestling him, and with the exception of maybe Waters, although Waters wasn't wrestling last season. He was out last season.
He was. He wrestled in the All-Star and got beat up and then missed.
And he was down a weight class before then. So they probably haven't wrestled, despite the fact being in the same conference. Maybe you had Swenson wrestle him. But outside of that, not many. So, yeah, I think that he's going to be a tricky dude to wrestle, and that as a result, that and the fact that he's just flat out a good wrestler is going to help him win the weight class.
Austin, 57.
Since we're bringing up memories, I just want to remember if Claunch remembers when Austin DeSanto beat the crap out of Michich here. He almost, it's when he came
my
out.
mind. Oh, no, that's right. I do remember that.
Year.
Yeah. When he was wrestling for Drexel, he beat him up. And then what happened at NCAAs?
There was
that was the Kimura
cartwheel to a Kimura.
Yeah,
that
was
cheating.
a different.
That was when the breaking symbol. He broke him forever. Was ever since then. Austin
completely different Austin DeSanto after that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But back to 157 here. All those guys that Claunch mentioned, I like. I think my pick is going to be Waters, though. Just been really, really good so far. Has a bunch of techs and pins. Has one match that went the distance this year so far. He's good. He's tall, lanky, unorthodox. He's tough to wrestle. So I like Waters. Him and Zurban should be a really funky match if they hit. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Robbie.
Yeah, I mean Zurban, you got to kind of ride the hot hand there. Swenson's looked good lately too. Cardenas needs a big win, and this could be a really good weekend for him. My only hesitance with Waters is that he hasn't really faced any competition so far this year. I mean, he's 5-0, but his best win is not super impressive. So the field that he's going to face here is a significant step up in talent and skill level.
Especially being in a new weight class too.
Yeah, and he can certainly navigate that and could very easily win this weight. But I think you could say the same for Cardenas and Zurban. So I'm going to go with Zurban, just riding the hot hand. He looked really, really good last week. Other ones to keep an eye on, like Claunch said, Stony Buell's good. Jared Hill from Wyoming, another one to keep an eye on.
He placed 5th in this tournament, according to Earl.
He's rarely ever wrong. Yeah. The guy I'm looking forward to just seeing is Joel Adams at Oregon State as well. I know I've called out a couple of Oregon State guys.
Yeah, good call.
Joel Adams was a big pickup for them, and I think this is kind of a time where he can get on a run, and I don't know if he'll make the finals or whatever else, but I feel like he can hit the podium right at CKLV. I feel like he's a guy that we should be looking out for throughout the season and watching
He's
out for his
dangerous.
development. He's very dangerous.
Huge Greco guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's got
Basketball.
that kind of in his bag of like the unorthodox of guys not being, I guess, so Greco savvy, and obviously it's very different at heavyweight as we saw over the last couple of years coming out of Arizona State. But Joel Adams in having a Greco freestyle, or excuse me, Greco folk style type of look can certainly put guys in some different areas where he's more comfortable in, right? So, but I was really excited about Oregon State getting that signing and that pickup in the offseason. So Joel Adams is a guy that I'm looking for to maybe upset some guys, right? I don't think he's gonna shock the world, but maybe pull off a couple of upsets. But yeah, I'm going with Ty Waters here. I understand he hasn't had the toughest season, but I also feel like he is probably the most seasoned. And, outside of, having that injury last year, he's faced really good competition. I mean, we saw what he did at NCAAs as a freshman. We know, what he's done in the past. So I feel like if anything, even though it is a new weight class, he's certainly somebody to have that target on his back because of his experience and what he's able to do. Yeah, I think that's everybody. I think we mentioned, Buell, Zerbin. Zerbin, obviously, the guy here right now coming off the win that he just had. But it's, I guess it's tough for me to look past Waters and what we've seen him do in the past as well for the recency bias of what we've seen from Zerbin. On to 165, Robbie, starting with you.
I mean, for the depth of some of the other weight classes, I don't feel like this is a super deep weight class. I think it's very top heavy with Joey Blaze and Hunter Garvin. Ryan Burton's been fantastic this year and could certainly make some noise. Ty Whalen's been really good this year. Matthew Olguin, I think, is another one out of Oregon State that could be good. But I think it's very much a Joey Blaze show, and I think he gets it done. Would like to see Garvin or Burton make the finals. I think they both certainly could. I would like to see the offensive Hunter Garvin and not the sitting around waiting for things to happen Hunter Garvin, though.
Yeah. Claunch?
165. Sorry, I had to figure out what weight we were on. I don't have any cool examples from this one. I ran out of them. I don't have any more memories. Austin made me forget everything that ever happened at Cliff Keen.
Sorry, buddy.
Joey Blaze. Joey Blaze is my pick. I think Joey Blaze is awesome. He's looked fantastic since bumping up. We've all seen him and talked about how enormous he is. And he's one of those guys who's quickly made the transition. Looks like that NCAA finals finish is just one of those things that's only made him hungrier and more confident at the same time, strangely, right? So I'm really excited to see what he's going to be able to do. I know he's pumped to be at a tournament like this and get his hands on some tough guys. Top heavy, sure, but it's still going to be fun. I was Ty Whalen, I'm glad you mentioned him. Hunter Garvin, obviously, Matthew Olguin, those are the names I have written down. Dylan Gilcher has only one loss at 165 on the season from Michigan. He lost to Caesar Alvin, who's a multiple-time NCAA returner for Columbia, who's at this tournament. And then there's Nico Ruiz, who's also going to be at this tournament potentially, who is ranked higher, I believe, than at least Alvin. But Gilcher, he's beaten. So, you're going to get some good competitive matches top to bottom as you would expect from 165. But I'm going Joey Blaze all day.
Joey Blaze all day. Austin, on to you.
I also like Joey Blaze. Him and Garvin are interesting. I saw Garvin wrestle twice this year. Wasn't super impressed with him. Hopefully he figures it out, obviously, but just gotta go with Joey Blaze. And I think Ty Whalen is another pick as well. Just super impressed with him thus far. And I do like Elmore from Navy as kind of a dark horse guy to come through. Alvin from Columbia that you mentioned already placed, and lose Sergio from Cornell. Another guy that freshman should be pretty impressive here and could really make a name for himself with an impressive run.
And I'm surprised that Claunch doesn't have the memory of Hunter Stieber beating Kellen Russell at CKLV.
Yeah.
You guys must be making these up now. I don't think I paid attention to wrestling then.
I'm so surprised he doesn't remember. He has no memories of that. The freshman Hunter Stieber beating Kellen Russell. That was such a big deal.
That was tough.
That was definitely a tough one. No, this is the Joey Blaze show. As much as I love Matt Olguin, another guy that I got to see when he was back in California weighing like 113 pounds before ballooning up and gaining weight as well as tattoos. Awesome uncle. His uncle was awesome dude. I always loved talking to that guy at every single one of those wrestling matches. His uncle was always there with him. So really cool to see his family. So hopefully that Matt Olguin does really well. But this is definitely the Joey Blaze show, and I don't see anybody beating him. I think Ty Whalen will possibly make the finals to see Joey Blaze. I think that can happen. I would also like to see that happen for just Princeton's sake of needing some bright spots outside of Mark Anthony McGowan and his wife Jennifer Lopez. But this is definitely, like I said,
I'm glad we could bring that to light.
This is the Joey Blaze show. All right. On to 174, and we're going to Austin because I'm sure he wants to talk about Danny Wask. So on to you.
Yeah, this is a good weight. Wask, Ruiz, Gaetan, one of the Mantanona brothers, just the top four listed here. And between those four, we should see some exciting wrestling. I don't think Wask even placed here last year. I know he did sixth. Okay, so yeah, Wask did get sixth last year. Yeah, I mean, I like Danny Wask. Had a great year so far, but Simon Ruiz is pretty damn tough, and I may regret it not taking Ruiz, but I think Wask is the favorite right now, and I think him and Ruiz in the finals, if they meet, is going to be a good one as well.
Yeah. Robbie, on you. Will we see Lorenzo Norman this weekend?
Last time I talked to them, that was the goal, was that for Provo and Norman to return this weekend. We don't have official entries yet, so I don't know for sure. I will check in on that. And as of now, as we record this on Monday night, we don't have official entries. I will check in on that and get an answer. But I mean, if he's in, this is certainly a hell of a time to get started. So with the current lineup, I like Ruiz here. Bo Mantanona can always cause problems. I would love to see Sergio Desante actually get something going because he has not done that this year for Virginia Tech since he transferred. So I'd like to see him get a fire lit under his ass and get moving a little bit. And this could be a good tournament to do that. But with what we have now, I like Ruiz. If Norman's there, I certainly like him to make a run and potentially make the finals.
Launch.
Sorry, I keep looking at WrestleStat to get names down and figure out what I want to do. Pull the curtain back so people can know why I'm forgetting where we are. I think Ruiz gets it done. I think he's just been so impressive every time I've seen him. He's one of those guys where I was trying to prepare for this season, and you look at the brackets and you're like, oh yeah. That guy was an absolute freak. And Cornell typically does a good job year to year with their guys, just incremental improvements. When they stay healthy, they tend to just get better. So I have faith in him to be able to do that. I love the idea of Mantanona being a guy that can win this. I just want to see it before I predict it. You know what I mean? I want to see him get some of those wins. He always gets really close to getting over the hump and beating people he's lost to before, but he hasn't done it yet. And I bet that's coming from someone who believes he can be a national champion completely, right? At some point.
Believes you could be a national champion or Mantanona could be a national champion.
I think he and I believe the same in each other. you know. Um,
It's a mutual
it's good.
respect.
Yeah, one of us is much closer than the other to this point, but there's still time.
Just saying, you're undefeated this year.
Yeah, my college career was undefeated in my fraternity room, living room. So
He doesn't have the Mud Bowl, does he?
he doesn't know. He doesn't have the Mud Bowl trophy either. That's right.
That's true.
Although I bet he'd be a pretty great wide receiver, unless I was covering him. Anyway, yeah, I wrote down Deontay too. Sergio, had a really good year at Chattanooga, and he's just not been able to put it together here. And so I hope it's just not one of those guys who gets lost to a larger conference. Brody Bauman's another guy to point out, though, too. I was shouting out a lot of Purdue guys, but he's been one where, like, I picked last year for Intermat. Like, he's a guy to watch. He's my breakout guy that I picked last year for Purdue, only because I'd already picked Joey Blaze. Like, you can't pick him again. He's already a breakout, you know?
He done broke it.
He done broke it. So, but Brody Bauman, a very tough wrestler in his own right. But yeah, I'm going Ruiz.
Yeah. I feel like MJ Gaitan's gonna have a tough first round just based off of last week, right? Like he's coming in hot and somebody's gonna be like just like ready and waiting for whatever MJ Gaitan has.
Yeah, frosted tips, sweet.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
go.
That's what it's all about. I mean, I don't think he's gonna lose, but I don't
There's
think
no Casey's in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
think he's gonna have just a tough early round match to kind of start things off. I can just kind of see that happening. A close like 2 points where it's late takedown or something where he's trailing. But yeah, I'm going with Simon Ruiz. Maybe this is just hopeful for the guys at Arizona State, but I'd like to see Kale Valencia do something cool. It'd be awesome to see that. Honestly, I feel like with the name of Kale Valencia and being at Arizona State, you come with a ton of spotlight and everybody's watching for you to do something. So I would love to at least see him string some matches together and have a good showing for Arizona State's sake. Honestly, they don't really have the horses anymore that they used to, and they've been kind of picked over when it comes to guys transferring out, and and then losing Zahid, who was your top RTC guy. Just like things haven't been looking very good there. So I'm hopeful that Kale Valencia can do something. But yeah, I'm also taking Simon Ruiz. On to 84. And Claunch, I know that you want to see Bo Mantanona prove it. How are you feeling about Brock Mantanona here at 84?
I feel never better. Fantastic. No, he's been awesome. Really, really continues to attack. Very dynamic. I'm blanking on who the duel was against. Maybe it was Columbia. But like both him and Bo just did not finish their matches all that well. Thankfully, they bounced back against Virginia and both looked very, very good. But that's probably my only concern is like, he's getting used to being up at 184, right? And is he going to just be exhausted? He is big. I was worried about the jump, but like he's physically a very large kid. Looks like he can handle it. Certainly has got the attacks to do so. But this is a really, really crazy deep weight too. I think that Brock should, him or Isaac Dean, maybe Conway, from Franklin and Marshall, like those are some of the top guys as far as like where I think the seeds are going to land. Eddie Nietenbach from Wyoming is a very, very good wrestler. He's definitely somebody to watch out for. Cole Mulhauser from Princeton. And then I was just like, doing the member berries thing. I was like, oh, Jaden Bullock's here. Oh, Sal Perrine. Oh, James Rowley. Like, this is going to be all my old friends back in one big tournament. I'm excited to see James Rowley again. I'm shouting a lot of Purdue guys out right now, but he had a bad knee injury last year at this tournament, I think, at the hands of Jaden Bullock. Yeah, so so glad he's going to be back and competing. And so, but yeah, ultimately, like, I'll pick Mantanona because that's kind of what I'm here to do. But I really like the way Isaac Dean wrestled. Didn't get a takedown, but Ferrari's tough, and to take a guy like that to 2-1 is pretty impressive. And just everything James Conway does for Franklin and Marshall needs to just be shouted from the rafters. So there he is.
Agreed. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing about Isaac Dean. Had a really hard fought match, and we talked about it on the last episode of he wasn't the one that was the aggressor firing off attacks, but his defense was on point. And especially against a guy, I mean, you're up against the number one ranked guy in the country. You're probably going to wrestle a defensive battle. It's very rare that you're going to go out and attack him more than he attacks you. And I mean, even though Ferrari, that can end up either way because Ferrari's not always going to be attacking. But I was very impressed with Isaac Dean's defense, his ability to dig underhooks, to scramble, to keep Ferrari at bay when he was on a knee and not firing off too many shots. But whenever he did shoot, get his legs back, even when he looked like he was dead to rights. So very impressed with Isaac Dean. I'm actually going to go with Dean here at 184. Austin, on to you.
I really like James Conway. Might be a little bit of a homer pick for me, but he's been looking really good this year. He wrestles really hard. The only thing about that is sometimes that's to his disadvantage. So a guy like Soldano who can catch guys that come in really aggressively, or a guy like Mantanona that has a lot of tricks, can catch a guy like Conway, and whether they're down 14 points or it's a tight one, that's kind of been Conway's MO. Just guys that are kind of really funky and can do some tricks and things like that. So I like Conway a lot. Dean's been looking good. Nietenbach, you guys mentioned, and just going down the list here, Mulhauser from Princeton, just another guy I like too. And just look at the wrestle stat. This weight is interesting because there's like 12 or 13 guys from like 19 to like 42, and that I'll call it mid-tier rankings, and they all seem pretty tight, pretty even to me. So this should be a lot of fireworks, from 12 seed on down. So it should be really fun to watch.
Robbie?
Yeah, I think this is a fun weight, and it could shake out in a lot of different ways. I like Conway. I think I have Conway and Nietenbach in the finals. I think that'd be a really fun final for me to watch. I think Nietenbach has been very impressive, and we've seen the success that Mark Branch has had with upper weights. We'll talk about Novak in just a minute, and I think that this is a good chance for him to get some national attention. The other one, Claunch hit on it earlier, James Rowley, coming back after getting injured at the tournament last year, I think can make some noise and make a statement, but that he's back. And, a big recruit. It was at Wisconsin, now he's at Purdue, and certainly has the skills and the opportunity to make some noise. And I'd love to see him get back on the horse and get back to it.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to make of this one, honestly. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing how Brian Soldano does in Oklahoma now. But like I said, I'm taking Dean based off of how he looked up against Ferrari. But yeah, the other thing, the other question mark I had was Soldano and how he looks in a new singlet and with a new coaching staff.
Is he gonna use the same old moves though that people figured out, or are those going to be new too?
Yeah, I hope they're new. I hope there's something new in that bag, because last year it wasn't looking too good when it was at Rutgers. So I don't know. 97 might be my favorite weight, honestly. I know we've got a lot of fireworks at some other ones, but like I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys at 97, mostly because I want to see a Sonny Sasso Rocky Elam match. I think that has NCAA semifinal potential written all over it. And I'm going to be a homer and take Sonny Sasso, honestly.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I like it.
Doing it.
I like it.
That's how it's working. Robbie, what are your thoughts on 97?
These top four are tough and legitimately could be, four guys in contention for the semifinals. I mean, Elam, Novak, Sasso, and Berge all have very, very high-end talent. And we've seen what Elam can do. We saw him with a big win last weekend. Novak is a known product. Sonny Sasso has put it together and had a hell of a weekend at the last tournament. And Berge looked good with a close win last weekend. Rademacher is another one to keep an eye on. Rune Lawrence has a high upside. Ben Venadia has a great mustache. But I think we see, man, I don't even know who's. I like Sasso and I like Sasso Elam as a final here. But I think Novak's going to have something to say about that.
I think
I don't know.
Rademacher
This is a tough weight. Yeah, I think Rademacher is a good dark horse here. I wouldn't call him a dark horse, but not in the top 4, but certainly could make a statement in the finals.
Yeah, Austin 97.
Yeah, I see the top 4. Then I was thinking Rademacher. Am I crazy for picking him outright? Or
He's a
is
wedge
No.
buster, man.
Yeah, that's
No,
he
he
would
could
be.
definitely do it, and he looks
Yeah,
just
that
like
that
Matty Singleton and Cruise.
yeah, just came off a world title too. So he's got that little bit of swag going for him. I'm sure that goes. But yeah, I was looking at Novak and Sasso, and Novak lost to Sasso 12-2 this year already. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was at the duels. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, not saying that's going to happen again. It's just I would expect a closer match, but yeah, that was
It was Sasso had a hell of a weekend.
Yeah, that was 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, so anything can happen. But yeah, give me Rademacher just to go outside the top 4 and pick a little bit of a, I don't want to say upset, but
definitely not a bad pick.
Yeah, not the top 4 guys.
Yeah, Claunch.
I think the top 4 kind of makes sense. I'm going to talk about DeAnthony Parker, guy to watch, to try to get on the podium there. Ben Venadia, so I can keep my Purdue streak going. And Hayden Walters from Michigan. I mean, he's a guy 3rd year, at Michigan, but was injured his first year, like literally going into his first year. So redshirted that year, redshirted last year with Cardenas there, but so far has wrestled really well. And is still making improvements. Pretty raw in a couple different areas, but definitely somebody to watch at this tournament, since that seems to be a big theme. That and you guys bringing up terrible memories, so that's good. Let's go. I'm gonna stick with my hat. I'm gonna go Bennett Berge over Novak in the finals, and we'll get Elam over Sasso for 3rd.
As long as we get that match, that's what I want to see. 285. Claunch, we're gonna stick with you. Roll on into 285 and bring it on home.
I mean, it should be Younger and Gadali in the finals would be, I think, how most people kind of see this working its way out. Jimmy Mullen has not looked the best so far this year, at least not from maybe
he had a great Keystone.
I've had several great Keystones, but
nobody's ever had a great Keystone.
But yeah, Rasmussen obviously coming off the big Minnesota win is big. So we'll see if that helps him keep things going. Trevor Tinker is 18 feet tall. Just wanted to point that out. David Zubas looked pretty good from time to time. And Christian Carroll up at heavyweight at a big tournament like this is a guy I want to see what he can do at something like this. Did he end up beating Mullen at the duels, or was it the other way?
I do not remember.
Other way, Mullen beat Carroll?
I believe so. Double check that.
Yeah, 5-4.
Yeah, 5-4.
Okay.
It was close.
But again, like he's a guy who can and should be in those matches, and maybe this landing in Wyoming will help him develop the confidence, and again, good training partners to the guy like Novak and Nietenbach around his weight to get him there.
Yeah, he's had a couple of different stops, so hopefully this is the last one where he really truly puts down some roots and continue. It starts to develop a little bit more with some consistent coaching. Austin, your thoughts here at heavyweight?
I think Bastida's the guy to beat. And looking at 2nd, 3rd, Gadiali is up there, but the guy from Navy, the freshman Lanagza.
Oh yeah, I wrote his name down. Spencer Lasagna.
Lasagna.
Yeah.
2 wins over Pitzer this year and a win over Kaka from Rutgers. So yeah, really good start as a freshman. Just someone to potentially make noise there. And then going down that list, Davis from Cornell, Mueller from Columbia, pretty good. Carroll, you guys mentioned. Yeah, it should be interesting, with those top 4 or 5 guys we all mentioned there.
Robbie?
I think it's hard to look past Younger Bastida right now with how we've seen him look so far. I think he's the heavy favorite here. Gadali Bastida would be a really fun match. I think that's likely what we're going to see. Mullen has had one bad loss this year. He has 2 losses. There's losses to both Minnesota heavyweights, Tabor and Boy Hopkey. Both were close. The Hopkey match wasn't close. That was actually really ugly. But he's kind of come on late and has been attacking more. So I think he can certainly make a run to the semifinals. And that's the kind of match he's going to have to win to be able to get on the podium. So he's going to have to figure out a way to win some of those matches. So I'd like to see him continue to be aggressive and offensive. And I think he can go with those guys. But I think we're looking at Bastida Gadali. And I think Bastida takes the title. But I think Christian Carroll and Hayden Filipovich are both guys to watch to make some noise as well, since Claunch hasn't talked about Purdue this round.
Thank you. I had his name written down too. I can't believe I forgot to talk about lasagna.
Yeah, you did not. You didn't give any lasagna love, and you completely left Purdue out this round. But
I'm telling Ursuland.
Yeah,
I did not finish strong, guys. I'm sorry.
Did not finish strong.
Too many keystones.
I think too many keystones. It is the Bastida show. Bastida versus Gadali will be the match in the finals. I don't really see anybody coming in between them to make the final match. Can Christian Carroll do something now he's at heavyweight? I was surprised that he was even trying to be a 197 when he was. Felt like he was just way too damn big to be a 197, and it just wasn't natural. So glad that he's at least on his 3rd stop, and hopefully is developing the way that he should, being a heavyweight. But yeah, this is the younger Bastida show, and everybody's just kind of tuned in for it, to be completely honest.
For what it's worth, I think Carroll's fits in really well at Wyoming and is off to a good start there. So I think he's in a good spot.
Yeah. Do we think that Iowa State takes the title here as well? Haven't really looked.
That'd
much
be a hell of
at
a week for him.
The team side of things, but I feel like they should have the horses to do it. I don't really see too many spots where they shouldn't podium, where they shouldn't, come back with at least some hardware. They don't really have too many holes in their lineup. So
no, they probably will win it. Yeah, they'd be my pick.
Probably a safe bet. I think Virginia Tech, if they put it together, could be in the fight for it if Sonny Sasso makes the run that you're calling for.
Yeah,
but
they'll certainly need
that.
That
you got to
and
lean Iowa
Tresca.
State. Yeah,
certainly. So that's it for CKLV. I know we've got a couple other dual meets and things that we wanted to shout out. Robbie, what were some of the other dual meets that you were maybe paying attention to this weekend?
There's some sneaky good duels this weekend. Little Rock, Minnesota, Nebraska, Missouri, Pitt, Lehigh, all on Friday. I think Little Rock, Missouri is actually on Thursday. And then what was the other one? Lehigh, Penn State, and Rutgers, NC State will finish out the weekend.
Can we get McAnally to bump up to 197?
That'd be pretty cool.
I'd like that. That'd be awesome. Austin, were there any dual meets that you had in mind as well?
Yeah, Robbie mentioned Lehigh Pitt Friday, and then Lehigh wrestles at Penn State on Sunday. Friday, I'll actually be at the Drexel match. They host Penn State. Again, not really a super tight match on paper, but first sellout in history for Drexel wrestling match. So
it's awesome.
Whether you hate or love Penn State, they draw a crowd, and having them at a school like Drexel is a really big deal. So excited to see that one. And then that's pretty much all I have. CKLV on the docket as well. Should be fun. Oh, and Army wrestles Wisconsin.
Yep.
So that should be a pretty fun one as well. And Bucknell Pitt, could see some good matchups there as well.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
Speaking of Wisconsin, Braxton Amos, my friend, you are a large human being right now, And I didn't realize it until I saw some of these highlights lately. And he's looking big. He's looking real big. He had a good match with Bastida. I think it was 5-4.
He was
It
winning.
was close.
Yeah.
He had with Bastida. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that bodes pretty well. For somebody that's never been in the heavyweight weight class to go 5-4 and be winning up against the number one ranked guy in the weight class, early season or not, pretty awesome.
Dude, if we're talking about guys who wrestled 197, where I was like, maybe just go up.
Yeah, he's that one.
Yeah.
Again, just like Christian Carroll, was very surprised when I had spoken to Braxton as like a freshman, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna wrestle 97," and I was like, "Why?" I mean, I understood that Hilger was there and everything else, but like, still, it was just like, man, redshirt a year and just wrestle Hilger and get tossed around for a while and just take some lumps. But I was surprised
Get
that he
some
was going
tips
to be
on your hair.
97. So I'm glad that he's now up at heavyweight. He's a full-on heavy as well, large human being. It's just pretty awesome. Another awesome family. Love those guys. West
To see him
Virginia
healthy
family.
too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's healthy. He's definitely healthy right now. The shoulder looks good. Seems to be intact. Well, hopefully it stays that way for the rest of the season. I feel like moving up to heavyweight also helps that too.
Yeah.
He can
Yeah, I
be
mean,
even
for anyone
stronger.
with injuries, it's moving up a weight class. It's going to give your body obviously a little bit of a rest. We're not worried about the weight cut. You can help your body a little more, and that's sometimes that's the reason these guys go up as well, and fans don't realize that.
Yeah. Injury wise, it is smarter. Any other dual meets? Anything else we should look out for going into this week? Or are we good to go?
Those are the big ones I had.
Yeah.
Gardner Webb, Michigan State. Gardner Webb hosting a Big Ten team and an ACC team this weekend. So
I think Gardner Webb can
good
win
luck
that.
to the Fighting Daniel Elliott's.
I think they can win that one.
Win against a Big Ten team would be huge.
Yeah, awesome for them, honestly. Yeah, my cousin, my little cousin actually wrestles for them. I think he just joined them second semester. So yeah, Marcus is now with them. I think he's with Gardner Webb. Maybe is it Gardner Webb? He just posted something the other day, and I'm seeing a red G in my head. So maybe it was something different, but
G Unit?
no, it wasn't G Unit. Didn't he wasn't
They don't have
he
a
was,
wrestling team.
They don't have a wrestling team, no. Even though those tank tops look pretty close to singlets back in the day.
That's true.
But yeah, I could be completely wrong. I don't know. Might honestly be Grand Valley, to be honest. Now I'm seeing it in my head.
That's not right.
Yeah. Huh?
Grandview?
Grandview, yes. That's who it was. Red G was what I was seeing in my head. Couldn't get there, but thankful for you guys that you always bring me right around. But yeah, another good episode. Really looking forward to CKLV. Hopeful that we'll get some of these matchups that we talked about. Again, this is being recorded on a Monday. You guys aren't seeing this until Thursday, so things can obviously change before this even gets out. If too many things change, you won't see this episode at all. I'm completely lying. We're gonna post it regardless. It doesn't really make a difference. But no, looking forward to the tournament. It's always been a really good one. Always loved going to Vegas and seeing CKLV and seeing any of the memories that Claunch spoke of or that we decided to bring up that almost brought him to tears. But as always, we appreciate you guys listening and watching the Quad Pod, and we'll see you again next week. Peace.